Hey, this is Doug Sutton here, speaking about Hypervibe today, and we have a special guest, Dr. Daniel Turack from Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I know Daniel, you've been a user of Hypervibe for some time, and it's great to have an opportunity to connect with you and learn a little bit more about your practice and everything you've been up to.
Yeah. So I'm about 20 minutes north of Pittsburgh. And first of all, I'm a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor for 10 years now. Uh, the whole chiropractic profession changed my life. I was about 12 years old when I developed some significant knee pain and went to an ortho doctor who gave me two options. Number one was knee surgery for a condition called Osgood-Schlatters disease. And number two was take a year off of activity, no baseball, no sports, nothing like that. Put a heat pack on my knee every night and no running, minimal walking. And uh, so again, I was about 12 years old and my mom chose the second option, which was no surgery. I spent about 3 months at home, miserable because I was unable to exercise, unable to perform any kind of baseball, which was my initial love throughout my life. And, subsequently I developed low back pain. And my mom said, "Hey, let me call the chiropractor down the road." And he said, "Yeah, I see children all the time." So my mom felt a little more comfortable about taking me to see a chiropractor. And he began educating us on the benefit of chiropractic care, structural balancing for my joints. And within only a few short weeks, he totally eliminated my knee pain that was ongoing for like 8 months. And that was kind of like the turning point in my life. It was amazing. It was like in no time, my knee stopped hurting, my back stopped hurting. And that kind of shaped me throughout all of my high school years, my college years. I went to school for biology pre-med. I knew that I wanted to become a chiropractor because that guy gave me a lot of positive energy. That was 15 years ago. And since then, I've got a master's in nutrition now. I own a clinic where we see a lot of acute pain patients, people with back injuries and hip injuries and all kinds of acute musculoskeletal related issues. And now we also do a lot of functional medicine. And we opened up a gym right next to the office. And so we now have the opportunity to train clients to achieve whatever their healthcare goals are.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. One of the things I love about so many of the chiropractors that I've known, it's so unique amongst many other professions within the healthcare industry because it seems like there's so many different approaches and modalities and different areas of passion, and so much of that is molded by the individual person's experience. So I appreciate you sharing that. So within your practice, you mentioned you have a wide range of patient population. What are some of the key ones that you work with, and like in terms of percentages and like what that looks like?
Yeah. We see kids that are a week old in the clinic, and we see our oldest patients about 94 years old right now. So we do see everybody with a body, everybody with a spine, everybody with two, legs and arms and everything. But my primary focus is on adolescent and teenage and collegiate athletes, right? That's what we really stress the importance of a proper exercise program. Which starts with chiropractic care initially. We see a lot of people that have injuries that come into the clinic, and our guidance allows them to move pain-free.
Part of that is obviously you're seeing your patients come into your clinic and the gym to get the workouts. You're doing that guidance, and then it sounds like you have also protocols to send people home where they have homework, if you will, or activities that you set them up on, and then there's some type of a back and forth relationship where you're tracking their progress. But there's certainly the majority of the work really is not so much what happens inside the room, but it's what happens between appointments, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Repetition is the key to success, right? Forming good habits, whether it be, waking up early in the morning, having your breakfast and your mindful meditation and your, movement as soon as you wake up is so important. And one of the big things, we try to educate every client, every patient to form good habits from an exercise standpoint, from a postural standpoint, from an eating plan standpoint, and positive mindful thoughts throughout the day. So repetition outside the office in your own day-to-day life is so important. That's ultimately the key to success, to anybody's success is forming a positive relationship with themselves and creating good habits throughout the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, one of the things I'm curious about is, obviously whole body vibration is something that a lot of people don't know a lot about. The technology hasn't been around for many, many years. I mean, it has, I think, since the 90s or so that we really started getting some more research and awareness on. But I'm curious how you first heard about it, and what was it that intrigued you about the possibilities or the potential for that for whole body vibration as a whole to be able to help or support people with different conditions.
Going through 4 years of chiropractic school on top of the bio pre-med program, nobody taught anything on whole body vibration. So I started off working in a clinic for about 6 months, and the chiropractor there, he had some older machines kind of shoved away in the corner, and some clients would come in and use them throughout the week. I never saw the chiropractor once jump on the machine, which was kind of crazy to me. And when I graduated school, I was about 25 years old, and I said, "What the heck did these do?" And he explained the benefits to me, and taught me about how it helps to loosen up, some of the muscles throughout the spine, and it helps to create, good joint movement and circulation throughout the body. And I was in the mindset from a fitness standpoint that I needed to go to the gym and lift a whole bunch of weight. I needed to be the strongest guy out there. But subsequently, I still developed low back pain and neck pain and shoulder pain from overuse of muscles and trying to push my body past what it was physically capable of, right? And I worked in this clinic for like 4 months, 5 months. And one day I said, I'm going to start getting on this machine, a couple times a week and seeing what it does for me. And after the first week or the first 2 weeks, I could notice that my low back muscles the tension was released. And I noticed that I just felt a little better. I felt a little looser after using them. And over the course of the years, I've tried a number of different systems and a number of different platforms. And I really just stumbled upon Hypervibe from doing some internet research.
Yeah, and what specifically stood out for you with the Hypervibe, and what's been your experience with that as far as a distinction, and why you've chosen that or why you landed on Hypervibe?
I'm kind of like a go fast kind of person, right? So I like to whatever it is that I'm doing in my life, I like to give it 100%. I stumbled upon Hypervibe's website. I loved the look of the machines. I thought were very futuristic compared to some of the other machines that I saw. They looked sleek. I liked the design of just, the color scheme, and they just, visually stood out to me much more than some of the other machines. So I ended up ordering one of the older, performance models and started using that. And within the first session on it, my first 10-minute session on it, I could feel the power difference, And like I said, I'm like an all go kind of person, and the machine instantly provided me with more, systemic benefit than the prior 3 or 4 companies. And I had all these machines sitting there, and Hypervibe was by far the most powerful. It was smoother than some of the other machines. And I just experienced better body relief from it, better body improvement from it.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that I've learned since as well with my own discovery in this process with learning about whole body vibration are the different planes of motion, right? You've got your linear platforms where the entire platform goes up and down together at the same time. And oftentimes it's just a couple millimeters and the whole thing moves together. And I know NASA did a research study that shared that it had up to 189% more vibration of the head because our physiology, our hips move independently. And that's the platform that goes back and forth like the Hypervibe, the pivotal platform. It does stimulate that, and then you have higher levels of amplitude. So much like that teeter-totter, when you're on the Hypervibe, the closer your feet are together, the less vertical displacement that you have, and you can adjust how far out your feet are, so it can give you different levels of amplitude, which also coincide with the different frequencies. You can have different exposure to G-force.
Yeah, and different intensity too. So
yeah.
most of the clients is we've used these machines. And I did make some mistakes initially. I put some people that were not ready for the intensity and the frequency, and I had them, separate their feet too far. And it is an intense movement for the body. And many people are not ready for that. So, over the course of years, we've learned to move the feet a little closer together, do that for the first 2 weeks or 4 weeks and gradually move your feet apart. And now over the years, I'm way wide footed and I've got vibration all throughout the body. And, I've learned how to get the movement up into my shoulders and my neck. I only ever had one vertical platform. And as a chiropractor, we're trying to prevent injuries from occurring. And I used it for a couple weeks, this vertical platform, and it jolted my head, it jolted my eyes. And the pivotal platform, the left and the right movement, it just felt more natural. And it felt better for my body. I could just tell systemically that it was providing more benefit than the up and down vertical platform. So definitely am a big fan of the pivotal movement as opposed to the vertical movement.
Yeah, and then you also have the other thing I really appreciate about the Hypervibe is the ability to have the low frequencies. You can start off at that 5 hertz and work things like your balance and proprioception, and then as you increase the frequency, you can get into stretching and then muscle activation, some of the other benefits that come along with the higher frequencies, and you can work yourself up, like you said before, with your different patients, that you can start at a certain starting point and then gradually work up, and then before long, someone can really have some significant benefits.
Absolutely. So one of the other big things that I love about it is the ability for it to create incredible muscle stamina, right? I run, I've done, half marathons. I've gone up to, probably 20 or 25 miles. I've never done a full marathon yet, but prior to using whole body vibration, going to the gym, getting a nice pump in my muscles, waking up the next day with a lot of muscle soreness. Okay. And one of the things I've experienced over the past decade was my body just, no matter how hard I push it, whether I'm running, weightlifting, I just don't get sore anymore. And I found with the pivotal movement and the Hypervibe, there's a number of different positions that you can put yourself in to activate different muscles and to focus on different, getting the vibration up into the lateral calf or the medial calf, the Achilles tendon, up into the hamstrings. And so I've become kind of like a hunter, I like to say it. And I've figured out how to hunt for all those tight areas throughout my body and promote circulation into all of those different muscle groups. So, and what that has created is a body that heals much quicker. So I still weight lift, and we do, a lot of functional fitness. We do dumbbells and kettlebells in our gym. We use TRX. We do a number of, utilize a number of different fitness modalities. But we really stress the importance to all of our patients and our gym clients about how whole body vibration can help you to recover faster and also create that muscle stamina so that you can really go longer and become stronger from the machine. So it's really, there's so many benefits, and I'm sure we'll talk about them, but it's just every day I'm learning something different about how important whole body vibration is for the body.
Yeah, I found, and I appreciate you sharing that, because the warm up is so important, right? To get the body warmed up. If you're going to be doing any type of strength training or exercising, that warm up, and it's an ideal way to warm your body up. And I typically do that where I'll warm up my legs and I'll do some upper body warm up before lifting weights. And it seems like I can do so much more. And then the cool down, which is also helping out to clear out the lactic acid immediately after exercise, just genuinely helps you recover so much quicker. And so even if, you can do an entire workout just on the Hypervibe, or you can use it for warm up and cool down. And either way, that works great for both.
Yeah, absolutely. We do in our gym, we do about a 10-minute warm up, right? We do a dowel rod warm up. We do upper body, lower body, but there are a couple days a week where we'll just have patients warm up through the various exercises on the Hypervibe. The whole body vibration helps to really just loosen everything up. So warm up and cool down. You talked a little bit about lactic acid buildup, and so many people are out there exercising and maybe they don't warm up, and so many people don't cool down efficiently. and they wake up the next day and their knees are sore and their hips are sore and their spine and their back is sore. And so in the clinic, we daily educate patients on proper warm-up technique, proper cool-down technique. And the Hypervibe is something that we've definitely included in each one of our clients' treatment protocols and fitness protocols.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. And transitioning to another type of living, and just that's very real for the vast majority of it, especially in a world where with so much of what we have going on today, and we're transitioning to a new type of way of life for so many people, and many people working from home or working from a new office environment or in some type of work environment. And there's that saying, which I'm sure you've heard, and whoever's watching has heard, that sitting is the new smoking, right? You've heard that term before.
Yeah.
The harm that it can have on our health, and for so many hours a day, that people, when they're in a work environment, that they're just sitting for multiple hours. And I don't know about you, but for me, one of the things I really appreciate about the Hypervibe and having one at home is that, when working from home, I can get up every few hours, go stand on the Hypervibe for just 3 to 5 minutes. And oh my gosh, it's getting the circulation going, but it's also getting my mind activated. It's almost like drinking a cup of coffee, but instead of having that caffeine, I'm getting my endorphins flowing. It's helping my body. It's probably, and I'm sure you can speak into this in terms of what it's doing just for my muscles and my whole postural chain, but helping to counter some of those negative effects of just being in a still sitting environment for so many hours each day.
Yeah. So absolutely. The human body is made to move, man. And today's sedentary habits are just wreaking havoc on everybody's health. Weight gain, fatigue, cortisol elevation throughout the body, and general sluggishness of our circulatory system. If you're not getting your heart pumping in a high intensity interval training method, your blood becomes, it becomes stagnant. You become just a person of sluggishness and fatigue. And a lot of people aren't able to leave their office or their house. I see it every day. People are stuck to their computers, and now with COVID, we're stuck doing 8 hours of computer work throughout the day. And maybe people don't have that at-home fitness facility. They might have left their office, left their house, and gone to their gym and their group fitness classes. And the Hypervibe provides a simple at-home solution for the low intensity sitting that so many people are doing throughout the day. And exactly what you said, it only takes a few short minutes to get the blood flowing, to get the heart rate up, to get the circulatory system pumping, and then the endorphin release is such an amazing thing. One of the things I like to teach each of my clients about is movement meditation. And I'm sure you probably meditate. It's a hot term here in 2020, and it's been a hot term for the past couple of years. The importance of positive mindfulness and taking time to be grateful for your day and for different events that have occurred in your life and thinking positively. And the Hypervibe, what I personally do on it, I get to kind of zone out for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or however long my workout is. Some days I'll be on there for 60 minutes throughout the day. And it allows me to collect my thoughts, number one. It allows me to, plan out certain events that I have to do or work items that need completed. And I just feel a lot more focused when I'm standing on the whole body vibration machine because of the nervous system activation. And I use that term a lot throughout the day. And if you jump on a whole body vibration machine only once in your life, you're not going to get the benefit from the nervous system activation. It's really, for me, it's a daily habit. I've made it part of my day. I wake up in the morning and my first 10 minutes, maybe not 7 days a week, but 3 to 5 days a week. Absolutely. I jump on there for 10 minutes and then I have my coffee and I'm already well organized on what I need to do for my daily habits. So it kind of allows me to just program, program my next 12 hours or my next 16 hours out.
I appreciate you sharing that, because that's something that's been on my mind for a long time, and I've had my own theory about what that is. But I find that whether it's exercise or being on the Hypervibe, that those moments, whether you call it meditation or a movement meditation, intention setting in our day, But that's a time that I feel that when I'm either sitting or doing something else, it's not near as effective as when I'm on the hypervibe and there's something about my blood flowing and my endorphins are activated, that in those states I'm more tuned in. There's a higher level of awareness and of focus that I have. And so that processing my day and just thinking about what do I have to accomplish, certain decisions that I need to make as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I find that that's my little, my place of mindfulness is on the hypervibe or when I'm exercising. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's your release, not only from a stress standpoint. Stress manifests itself in so many different ways in each person differently. Some people get stressed and they get neck pain, and some people get stressed and they start thinking negative thoughts, and some people get stressed and they get hip discomfort or something. Some people get stressed and they experience shortness of breath, right? And the importance of movement is just, there's so many scientific studies out there on how movement eliminates stress. And whole body vibration is what I have found to be kind of like the top level of stress reduction. Now, I love exercise. I do it every day, whether it's a weight workout, a kettlebell workout, but the simplicity of the whole body vibration to get a full body workout in such a short amount of time is what I love about it. And there's many days like you and like everybody that might be listening to this where our days are jam-packed. We've got families and we've got work and we've got grocery store and shopping and so many different things to do. So there are a number of days. Patients come into my office all the time and they say, do you work out every day? And I say, I don't have an hour every day. Like I try to make an hour every day to work out, but if I don't, I have at least 10 minutes. I make myself have 10 minutes a day. If I get up at sometimes 5, sometimes 5:30, and sometimes 7 o'clock, I'll wake up. Before we wake our little girl up, she's 10 months old, I make it a point to jump downstairs, get on the machine for 10 minutes. If I've got 30 minutes, that's even better. But 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes. And it is wonderful for a time factor as well. So.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And, the thing is also, as I know, this is, when people are lifting weights, if we're running, if we're doing any type of traditional movement exercise, that 30 to 40%, I've heard somewhere in that range of our muscle fibers are actually firing during that actual exercise. Whereas on the body vibration machine, when you're on the hypervibe, you're getting nearly 100%. It's like the high 90 percentile percent of your muscle fibers are firing, which means you're getting more oxygen and circulation going through your entire body. So I can see where that benefit of that extra level of focus and clarity and awareness of thinking comes from, because you're having that level of circulation. And yes, to your point, it's great if you can also exercise, but if you don't have time to also exercise and all you have are that 10 minutes, my gosh, it definitely, and I notice it, and I like to break it up, even do it that first thing in the morning. But after I've been sitting for a few hours working, and we have some companies, I had the pleasure of going to the Google campus a number of years ago, a few years ago, on behalf of Hypervibe. And Google, in their headquarters, they have Hypervibe, and they're using that because they have this workout facility for their employees. But they look at that as like, hey, we can actually have our people go on here, stand on the machines for a few minutes, and then go back to work and be more productive. So from a business perspective, the benefits of employee productivity and just the health and wellness of your people to be able to have, whether it's in an office environment, in your home environment, it's one of the best investments, I believe, that someone can make.
Yeah, and that's just it. There's so many fitness products out there, and I get asked on a daily basis, what is the best fitness product? I've probably had 6 to 8 people this week text me about treadmills and ellipticals, and they say, is this a good brand? Is this a good brand? And I've used treadmills and I've used ellipticals, and I love to run, but the versatility of the whole body vibration machine, the Hypervibe, is awesome because it promotes and it provides a workout unlike anything out there. Everybody's out in the conventional gyms, on the treadmill and the stair steppers, and many people are doing it with they're getting a good workout, but they're doing it with incorrect form. Whole body vibration, as I've said a little bit earlier, has helped me to kind of hunt out my tight spots in my body. And the repetition of walking and running, it takes its toll on the body. The whole body vibration, I kind of like to use the analogy, it's like a jackhammer. A jackhammer breaks up concrete. And throughout our life, our spines mold together and our hips mold together, and we develop this horrible thing called arthritis, right? And arthritis, people come into my office all day long. I've got arthritis of my left hip and arthritis of my right knee, and I've got disc degeneration in my spine. And they've been stuck in this mentality and these modalities of elliptical and stair steppers and walking and running. And we put these people on these hypervibes in the gym, and they say, what the heck is this? I've never felt a movement like this. And that's just what whole body vibration is. It's a movement unlike anything else out there. And, again, personal experience and 10 years of clinical experience, it is the most healing movement for the human body that I've found to date. And you've got so many different exercises that you can do on the Hypervibe, whether it be a lower body protocol or an upper body protocol. You can shake your arms out, you can shake your legs out. You're healing your muscle tissue, you're healing your tendon tissue, your connective tissue. And ultimately your body, it's got this awesome power. If you feed it well and if you move it well, it's going to regenerate. And you can, I like to use some of the elderly people that come into the office that are really stiff, and we put them on twice a week, and then we up that to 3 times a week. And then before you know it, they're coming into the office 4 or 5 days a week because they experience benefits from the whole body vibration machine that they have not had with other things. And it's just a totally different movement. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious your thoughts and experience on this as well, but with some of your elderly patients and that come in, the effects and impact that it has on their muscle strength, on their posture, because I know how important that is. And I see this with whether it's parents or relatives, that over time that posture just really starts to deteriorate. Absolutely. And I know that the importance of the postural chain muscles and how they play such a role in our postures, but also some of those negative things that we do, like sitting for multiple hours a day without countering that with some type of exercise. And what you've seen in terms of just, if you have any specific examples or just as a generality, what you've seen.
Absolutely. So, so one of the things that we do in our clinic is educate just the entire population on the benefits of like barefoot training. Okay. So from an elderly standpoint, people have sat so much throughout their life, and their heads sink forward and their thoracic spine rolls forward, and they've developed, pain wherever it may be throughout the body, and ankle issues and feet issues and knee issues. The meniscus issues that we see are just like every week we have 10 or 15 people coming in with knee issues and hip issues and degenerative conditions of the body. And movement is truly the only thing that's going to really heal the body correctly. And so we'll start these elderly patients out with, like we talked about, with a very narrow stance, because it does get a little aggressive the further out that you go. And within a week or 2 weeks, these patients that commit to their care plans, they start to see the improvement of how their low back moves a little more efficiently. And they start to say, well, I can move from a sitting to a standing position, and I don't have that pain in my low back anymore. Is that because of the chiropractic care, or is that because of the Hypervibe, or is that because of whatever other corrective exercise that we're doing? And really it's a blend of everything. But what's awesome about the Hypervibe is many of these patients, they'll love the 10 minutes of the in-office care that we give them, the 10 minutes of the Hypervibe plus our treatments. And my goal is to never see people repetitively. I want to empower you to take the information that I give you and apply it to your life every day, right? I want you, my motto is live empowered. It's like, take control of your life, take control of your health. I can help you to achieve that to a certain point, but ultimately you've got to become the person that wakes up and says, I'm going to do better for my body every day. So a lot of these clients will notice weight loss with it. They'll notice improved knee mobility, improved low back mobility, less pain. And then they'll start to say, well, can I do this every day at home? And I'm like, absolutely. The G10 is a great model. It's compact, and I have one in my basement, and we've got the G17s in the gym, the bigger guys, because they go a little faster. And I like the G17 because it's like it's got the digital screen and you can crank it up faster. For me, that's beneficial, but for the general population, and people that are just new to this, they don't need to go that fast. They don't need that intensity. And the G10 is a perfect at-home model that you can put anywhere in your bedroom, in your living room. It's beautiful, and it'll just fit nicely in your house. So top benefits, just improved body mobility and less pain. But weight loss, so many people will say, I lost 10 pounds this month, and I haven't done anything except I've stood on this vibration machine at your office. And then we start to explain to them the benefits of the circulatory system and the draining of the lymphatic system that occurs, and the improved digestion that occurs from the vibration getting into your guts and shaking things around. So the benefits are awesome. Back to the sedentary point, a lot of people are sitting throughout the day, and the digestive system slows down. So many people have, maybe one bowel movement every day or every 2 or 3 days. And we do a lot of nutrition with these patients to clean up their diets. But one of the things that happens in the body throughout life is your detoxification system, your lymphatic system, your digestive system. They slow down, and they shouldn't slow down, but it is such a common issue that people are experiencing. Many people will jump on the Hypervibe, and they will feel within 2 minutes, I have to go to the bathroom. Why do I have to go to the bathroom? And they've got these little, this micro vibration, these little small movements in their feet that are transferred up into their calves and their hamstrings and up into the digestive tract to improve GI health, to improve the regulation of the gastrointestinal system. Leading causes of cancers especially is a sluggish digestive system and a sluggish lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system, if you've got a clogged lymph node, you can feel it swells up. If you've ever been sick with a throat infection or a strep infection or anything, the doctor might feel your lymph nodes under your mandible. And the lymphatic system, it runs throughout the entire body. And we put foods into our body that can help us or hurt us, right? We know the importance of a, reduction of sugar or elimination of processed and trans fats and things that have shown to, cause cardiovascular issues, weight gain, irregular blood markers can show up. And so lymphatic drainage is such an important tool for everybody, whether it be skin brushing or dry brushing, which I'm sure you've heard about, which is kind of like, it's like low level, right? They make these dry scrubbing brushes. And, sometimes patients come in and they say, I bought a lymphatic drainage brush. Is this beneficial? And yes, they are beneficial. But from, kind of hitting back on the weight loss standpoint, the lymphatic system, when you start to get it moving, the body will clear toxins out. And toxins build up in all of our bodies from the foods that we eat and the water that we drink, the air that we breathe, and the things that we put onto our skin. And the whole body vibration, it affects the entire body. The vibratory movement, the oscillatory pattern, it gets up into your entire muscular system to help improve lymphatic drainage. So personally, I have had bad foods in my life, and I notice if I eat something that my gut doesn't agree with, I might feel a little like constipated, or I might feel a little bloated or something like that. And I'm like, oh dude, I'm just drained right now. You wake up the next day and you feel how your body is just fatigued. And clearing the lymphatic system is one of the most important things to do to regain that energy, regain that body health. And the whole body vibration really helps to improve lymphatic drainage, digestive regularity to GI, gastrointestinal regularity, to get the vibration into the gut, to stimulate the stool that's built up in your gut, and to create more regular bowel movements. So I didn't know if we wanted to talk about that, but definitely an additional benefit is what I found with clients is improved digestion too. So circulation, lymphatic drainage, and gastrointestinal health. I mean, it's all systemic. The body it's a big organ. You've got your skin, you've got your muscles, and you've got your lymphatic system and your venous system, all these different systems that all have to function well. And, you know, walking again or running is a minimal form of vibration. Everything in the whole world vibrates. The atoms in the desk, when we knock on things, you know, it's all about sound is vibration. And there's nothing like the whole systemic benefit that comes from a whole body vibration platform.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
back to
that. I'm gaining new perspectives for myself as well, and I can definitely relate to the digestion. Absolutely. I mean, for me, first thing in the morning when I get on that machine, if I'm wouldn't already be regular, would certainly support that process right there. And yeah, and so and then of course everything else makes sense as far as it's draining, because we are exposed to toxins every single day in our lives. Whether it's the, you know, to your point, the skin's the largest organ in our body, and the just what is absorbing in from the clothes that we wear to anything else that we're putting on our skin, what we're breathing in, the food that we're eating, so many of the toxins that are in nature that end up getting into our system, we need to release that. And if we're not, then that can have, you know, that one of my favorite sayings, that a body that's not at ease attracts dis-ease, which is really the root of the word is dis-ease. It's not at ease.
Good.
And anything that we can do to invite the body back into a state of ease. And part of that is the importance of releasing toxins from our system. So it definitely helps with that as well. I'm curious, just on another note, any non-traditional or unique approaches or exercises that you've had with your clients, and things that may not be in the typical manuals that you see, but you know, any unique approaches that you've used the Hypervibe for?
You know, I mean, obviously the acute care stuff, the Achilles tendonitis and the patellar tendonitis, hip impingements. We see so many hip impingements, and a hip impingement is where you get pain down in the front of your hips. And, you know, sometimes that can be caused from overuse, that can be caused from running, it can be caused from, you know, sitting too much is an overuse injury. So, you know, we're using the Hypervibe on people's legs. One of my favorite exercises is to actually lay on the ground and put your calves up on the Hypervibe to help stimulate the calf muscles. We'll see a lot of like shin splints with clients, and you know, we'll have them lay with their legs on the machine for about like a minute or 2 minutes with your feet straight, and then we'll really like externally rotate the feet to hit the peroneal compartment or the lateral leg. And that's where a lot of tensions build up. People when you cross your legs, if you sit and you cross your legs, your knee on the bottom leg, it kind of compresses the popliteal space, which is the space in the back of the knee. So a lot of people will get like sciatica, and they'll get pain kind of like shooting down the back of the leg. And we do, you know, some manual therapy in the office. We'll do some muscle work to those areas, but then we'll have them lay on their backs on the ground and put their legs up on the machine. And it is like, I mean, to be honest, a huge fan of massage. It's wonderful, you know, going to a massage therapist and having somebody else press on your muscles, and kind of same benefits, you know, release toxins out of the body, improve circulation, reduce the knots throughout the body. But the whole body vibration is great because you can start at the feet, and then you can kind of work up into the legs, and then you can sit on the machine for your hamstrings, and then you can kind of lay with your quads on the machine, and then you can sit with your butt on the machine for your glute muscles and your IT band. And it takes time, definitely. It's not like one session, it'll help you out, but repetition of using the machine on a daily basis, or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and kind of learning how to feel the body out will just help flush that whole system out. So different conditions, I mean, you know, the range is so great, from acute injuries to chronic tightness, you know, disc injuries in the back, digestive inflammation, sluggishness or constipation, and then really aches and pains. You know, it's like we use it for everything. So and nerve stimulation is big too. You know, patients with MS and you know, neurodegenerative conditions, Parkinson's disease. I've had some patients really respond positively. They've got resting tremors, and you know, they've got nerve compression in their wrists and their elbows and up into their neck. And that whole body vibration, it literally will treat the entire body, the entire system. So, you know, you develop, like, if you see my hand right here, I've got some really awesome calluses that I built from using the whole body vibration machine. And the movement, it just gets the whole way up into your neck or the whole way up into your back. So I don't think there's any specific condition. It's really just like, it's like everything. It's like you can benefit in any way from the whole body vibration in your system. So
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question.
Oh, it definitely did. It's fascinating. I still keep learning more and more about it, and I always appreciate these opportunities to speak with experts like yourself that are using it in the field and having your own experiences. Yeah.
So we're on it. You know, I have my own personal Instagram, which is Dr. Dan's Plan, DRDANS Plan, Dr. Dan's Plan.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a YouTube channel that is just growing so quickly nowadays because I'm adding more regular content to it. You know, I post some of my videos are an hour-long workout. I did a video today that I still have to post. I did an hour-long workout, and 90% of it was done on the Hypervibe.
Oh,
And I
wow.
mix in, you know, some weights, some dumbbells. I did some kettlebell swings up on the Hypervibe, which is actually my first time. I've used the Hypervibe for like 8 years now, 8 to 10 years, and I've never done a kettlebell swing on a Hypervibe. So today I had 6 sets of 3 sets of kettlebell swings. And, you know, today we did like 30 rounds. And I think like 24 of them were done on the Hypervibe.
Wow.
I couldn't even walk. My legs were jelly. I'm like, this is I'm still learning every day about how to tie in additional exercises. And so today's workout that I'll post on YouTube, which is the same tag, it's Dr. Dan's Plan on YouTube. And you guys can, you know, check out the movements. But I always caution everybody, I've been using these machines for like 8 to 10 years now. And I just did my first kettlebell swing on a Hypervibe. It's an entirely new experience. I've got a lot of perfection, a lot of improvement to make on it. I don't recommend anybody do a kettlebell swing on a Hypervibe their first time. You know, you've got to master the body weight movements first, and then you can start to add some weights, some dumbbells, some kettlebell work. And it just will elevate your exercise regimen to an entirely new level. So
Yeah.
I had a crazy sweat on today. And the legs feel good. You know, I don't plan on getting sore at all. I haven't been sore for years now because of the recovery benefits of Hypervibe that we talked about a little earlier. So
Yeah, and I can appreciate you sharing that, because I've learned, and I think you mentioned this earlier, that you know, it is important to make sure we start slow and then build up with anything
yes.
that we do, whether this is kettlebells just on solid ground, or whether it's a Hypervibe or doing any type of weight training, that you want to listen to your body, start off and then ease yourself in, and then gradually over time you can build yourself up. And I've had my own experiences with that, because there's one thing that's definitely real with the Hypervibe, is it's a powerful machine.
Powerful, man.
Yeah, and I had spine surgery about 5 years ago now, and it was a catalyst in helping me get my own recovery back, because I had a significant extrusion at L5-S1, and I had a damage in my S1 nerve, and I had my left calf wasn't lifting off the ground. And I remember my first appointment with my surgeon 6 weeks after surgery. He said, "Doug, you may never get used to your calf back again." And for 9 months after surgery, I could not jump rope off of my left leg.
Yeah.
And it was like, it really was messing with my mind. And I was so concerned that I wouldn't be able to do that again. And jumping rope is one of my favorite exercises. And I got on the Hypervibe, and I started doing the calf raises and started doing things. And over time, I got that back. And now I can jump rope and do the things I've hadn't been able to do. And I was concerned that I may not be able to do again. And so it's been significant. But I will say that there were times when I was doing some planks and some core workout, and my core muscles weren't quite ready for that yet. And so I had some sort of, and so there's a little bit of a setback. So it's sometimes you can feel so good when you get on it, because it's such a stimulating experience, that it's good to just set what you're going to do before, see how you feel the next day, space it out a little bit, and then over time you can build that up. And if you give yourself that patience and you have that commitment, that it could be just a tremendous catalyst for a greater overall sense of health and well-being.
Yeah. So you keep making me want to talk about a couple different points, right? So one was, you know, when you had your disc injury, you know, you couldn't do things, right? And you feared that you were unable and maybe would have not been able to achieve the goals that you had set, which was jump roping. And that was kind of like my story, right? Like I was told that I couldn't do things by a healthcare provider. And, the way that life, pulled us in a different direction, I found a guy that told me that I could do things. And everybody out there that listens to this, I want you to know that you can achieve your goals, whatever they may be. If it's to work out in a pain-free way, you can put the time and the effort in, right? And there's different people out there. Doug's awesome. You can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms and ask for advice on how to use the Hypervibe, because it does take time. You do have to work into things slowly, but it is an integral part into creating a pain-free movement body. And two was another interesting case that I wanted to talk about was one of the student athletes that we're working with right now who just fractured his fibula. And this kid is he's hopefully going to be an NHL draft pick. He's played hockey his entire life. He got knocked on the ice by another player and, had this like rotational fracture of his fibula. He's got a plate and 2 screws in his leg. And from a rehab standpoint, I've gotten more and more aggressive with my rehab at an earlier phase. And this kid just had the injury 8 weeks ago. We started him on the Hypervibe at 6 weeks post fracture because of the fibrosis and the muscle tightness and the connective tissue and the scar tissue that has developed around his fibula, which is like the little bone down in your leg. And now we have him in the office 3 days a week doing his rehab. And the kid's weight bearing and squatting 7 or 8 weeks post fibular fracture. We got him out of his boot right away and got him on the Hypervibe, like I was explaining, laying with his legs up on the machine to break up the scar tissue that your body naturally develops when you injure yourself. Your body will build this disorganized knot where the injury was. And this was the first time just a month ago when we started that I felt comfortable enough to place him on the Hypervibe, place any patient on the Hypervibe so quickly post injury. And if you don't feel comfortable, I don't recommend that you do this, but the kid has responded wonderfully. And now 8 weeks post fracture, he's squatting with a bar on his back, and we got him back into a strength training program already. And so I'm excited for the future as I continue to push the limits with my patients and with myself, and understanding the benefits of the vibration and how it can heal the body so drastically so quickly by improvement of circulation, reduction of fibrosis and muscle tension, and again, like what I think is most importantly, nerve stimulation, the stimulation of the nervous system, and that whole body vibration. It trains your little small nerves to feel better, which reduces pain up in the neurological system, and it's going to help us all heal better. So a couple random points that I wanted to throw back out there. Do you have any other, what else?
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm sure we may end up doing another one of these here in the future, because it's been so fun to talk, and I really appreciate your insights and perspectives. And anytime we can give people an opportunity and to learn and be introduced to something that might work for them, and that's the thing that I always look at for myself, is that whenever I've experienced something that has had a tremendous impact in my own life, I feel like I'm doing a disservice by not sharing it with other people. Mm-hmm. And even me investing this time today is just a gift from my own time, because I'm so passionate about Hypervibe that I offered to do this with you. And I know that you have a very similar perspective, because you've had people that have made a difference in your life before, that have gone out of their way, that have introduced you to something, that have either believed in you, showed you a modality that's had a significant impact in your ability to be who you are today and be able to impact the patients that you have. I mean, even down to the degree of the people that have inspired you to be in the profession that you're in. Mm-hmm. And so these opportunities here for me are it's such a pleasure to be able to have a conversation with you, that we might have a few people that'll listen to this, and if it impacts them in a positive way, where they learn something new and they're willing to try something out. And I think, again, especially today, with the world that we're living in, and with so many people working from home, not going to gyms as much as they were before, or having the same level of movement that they would have otherwise thought, that one of the most important things we can possibly do is take care of our health, because it's our immune system. It's going to contribute to the longevity of our life. How we treat our body today is going to have a direct impact on the quality and longevity of life that we have. And
Yep.
and having the Hypervibe, and you mentioned this before, whether it's elliptical or treadmills, there's so many things that people could have. It's one of the best things, and I use mine every day, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this with other people. So
Yeah. Yeah. The versatility is awesome. And, you know, key takeaways from my standpoint, you know, for everybody that's listening, and there's so much static in our life, right? There's so much negative static, and there's the media static, and there's the family static, and there's work static and stress, and the stuff that disrupts your body, your emotional health, your physical health, your nutritional health, you know. And there are certain steps that you can take to better your body. And I have personally experienced, you know, drastic reduction in my pain, and improvement in my movement, and improvement in my mind, especially. That's like the movement meditation. There's nothing else out there. You know, a lot of people talk about that runner's high that they get, that endorphin release, and that feel good, like, oh, I just felt the stress leave my body, right? Like you can just kind of like sigh it out, right? And when you step on the whole body vibration platform, it takes 10 minutes, and your body will feel better. It allows you to just kind of detox. It's like a daily detox. And if anybody's out there told you that you can't do things because of injury, or you know, other health issues, whether it's fatigue, and they say go rest, and take these whatever pills or these supplements, or try to incorporate a little exercise, the Hypervibe, it will help your digestive system. It'll help your musculoskeletal system. It'll help your lymphatic system. It'll help your neurological system. And that's the overall goal, is to balance these systems out and to create harmony within the body, from an emotional standpoint, a physical standpoint, and and a nutritional standpoint. And just the whole body vibration, it helps me, and I hope that it can help you guys to just achieve your goals and know that you can do things. And it's just, everything vibrates in the world, and it's brought harmony into my life, and it's brought positivity into my life. It's brought positivity to just know that I can achieve things, and it's balanced my systems out. And I know that it'll do the same for anybody that's listening to this. So.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, I appreciate your time today, and
look
forward to continuing the conversation and having another one of these here in the near future. And for those of you that have invested time to be part of this conversation, I really appreciate your investment of time today as well. So thank you very much.